what you saw before was the kayakers who are coming on to be our guides. This is really strange. This is this rock that just came up out of a volcano. And it's got a bunch of trees. I don't know how much you can really see of what it looks like. Now, this is part of where we're staying, and they have this great tram that will take you all the way down into Anchorage, kind of near Creek Street. And as you can, do you see all the water that's running through? I guess Anchorage is so well known for all the rain it gets that the salmon actually run through that creek. And of course, you always got the big cruise ships that are here. So we look itsy bitsy compared to all the rest. But it's very nice having this tram, because if you want to go down for dinner or anything else, it makes it that much easier. It's the lodge that we're staying at. And it's owned by Red Lion, and it's very nice. These are some of our cruise people. There. And I have to tell you a funny story that he told me about. Okay, this is where we stay at the West Cape Fox Lodge.
Like banned from the boat. I've never caught a halibut.
And I was lucky enough to be able to go on a tour
We're going fishing tomorrow, though.
for totem poles. And the totem poles that were done for this
They're starting to run pretty good right now, yeah. Kings are coming
are
in.
also that. But we had a beautiful view. Very, very nice. And look forward to enjoying this lodge again.
Love it. Some snapper, black cod. Oh, yeah.
There's our... Okay, we are now leaving Ketchikan.
So good way to start your day. We'll be bringing that around in just a few minutes. So, good morning.
Now, enjoyed this part of it. Goodbye, Ketchikan. And because it's normally wet all the time, this is
There goes
great.
the neighborhood, and here we go, right?
I like the small boats instead of the big boats. And see, this is what Millie and Big Daddy are normally on, is Holland America, and I believe that's what Lisa was on. We're in Wrangell today.
This all goes dry out here to about 15 feet off that dock there. So those boats have to be real careful about backing out at the tide. They'll ground themselves. But the other alternative to working on your boat is the shipyard across here. You see the two tallest peaked buildings. You can have your boat pulled out of the water up onto those tracks.
All about fishing areas and taking care of your boats.
So this is the preferable method for working on the boat. Just making all that noise. It's a bird of some sort. Out. It's going to be a little lower coming out. So also let your eyes adjust to the light level because it's much darker in there than it is out here today. So just watch your step and you're doing well.
We're going into one of the tribal houses. Now, you see, these sort of tribal houses are made for us. See how short you got to be able to walk in with your head up? This is inside of a tribal house. Okay, now see, they are very much into color and very short. But they have beautiful carvings. As you can see. And supposedly the paint on this is the original paint. Which the original paint is done by using fish eggs, your own sputum, and other things. And you know what? That's pretty bright color to have held on for such a long time. The artifacts. And he was one of the last chiefs. And so this is a rebuilt tribal house. I said before, this is Chief Shake's tribal house. Tell the economy here is basically lumber, fishing, and just a very small amount of tourists.
And Civic Center. We're really excited about getting it. It's going to be huge. Although I know it's going to get filled up fast, because once we don't have an approved museum facility right now. We have a temporary facility, and once we have one that meets all the specs as far as humidity, climate control, all that stuff, then we will be able to repatriate a lot of native artifacts that belong to the clans here in Wrangell. And it'll just be wonderful to have all those things.
How do you get the funding?
She's talking about the Sakine River.
Wilderness area managed by the Forest Service. And the Tlingit natives first came down here by coming down the Sakine River from the interior. And they came down here about 2,000 years ago. And they floated down the river. And one of the reasons they say they came here was because of, they liked it here because of the climate and because of the wealth of the resources that were available. With, living on the ocean, there's all the plants that are available on the shore, and there's all the fish, and then in upland there's game. We have Sitka black-tailed deer, and the plate was set. They had a good life here. A lot of food was available, so they developed a very creative art form.
Okay, we're trying to get some whales.
We have a good one on your good camera on. If that whale jumps out of the water, you better get it.
They do, but very, very rare. Very rare.
Oh,
There they go.
I know, there's one.
At 2 o'clock.
That's kind of
Work whale. Couple of birds there. Impersonating them. Made you look. That's what they're saying.
There it is.
Man.
And in front of you. You have to choose one. And just watch, because there's kind of a rhythm to it. It goes down, down, kind of. You can expect when they come back up.
There you go. It's odd that they would be so far apart now. 3 o'clock. Oh, and another one beyond him.
This one hasn't gone down yet, so he's got to come right back up here.
That looks like a little one.
Where'd it go?
The big one comes up. It was right in that same area.
There they are.
There's 2 together.
Good pictures, though. No, it's hard to get it.
Yeah.
Although keep your camera ready because every now and again they do breach.
Turn the one that was over.
There's a big one. And a little
I didn't quite get that.
Unless they're hungry. There's the big male.
Three. There's the big one.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go. Click, click, click.
It's like the fireworks.
Woo!
Yeah.
Ah.
It is.
Close to the
Alaskan
There they go.
fireworks.
Almost. I think they're gonna do again. And
Oh, he is
there
huge.
go.
Look at that.
Go.
And that must be like a calf. Or two calves. There's a fourth one out here still.
That's
can
good.
see that little bit of
Good.
white around
Good.
its
Three.
Yeah.
They're very casual. They're not
Yeah.
alarmed by us.
Here he comes.
There they go. There's the whales.
Oh, and he's even posing.
There's 3 of them.
Now in a minute, they're gonna all 3 of them dive together.
Don't turn it off. They'll just
That's gonna be the good picture.
Here he comes.
There they go. There's the whale.
You can always delete them. That's what digital's about, right?
See if I get a real good.
Now I get that one.
There it is.
I hear the boat coming.
Is that the other fourth male over there?
Haven't seen it come up, but yeah.
No, a couple times.
There it is. That's actually a female there on the left, the male on the right. There's another, looks like a female. The fin that angles back is the female. The tall triangular fin is the male. There we go. The
There
female.
you go.
So the two female there, three female.
Yeah, they have broken up a little, so.
That's a fourth.
There. There. Takes time just going up, coming down.
There's that footprint you were talking about.
Yeah.
That puddle of leaves.
Look at that. There you go. Orca whales.
I haven't seen them.
Oh.
Gee. And everybody at once.
Wow. Yeah, the sun.
Those orcas could be trying to ground us.
They heard we had salmon on board.
Yeah. Saying that they're leading us into a trap.
Well, look over that one over there.
Oh.
There we go, right there.
There we go.
He thought he was teasing us.
Oh my God.
Somebody's out of film.
Oh, here comes the cruise boat.
Better be careful what you wish for, bud.
The net he's holding is big enough, guys?
Yeah. He's gonna catch it.
This I gotta see. I know.
There's another one coming towards us from this island over here.
Oh yeah.
One that stood out.
I want to see this one come up by this guy who's gonna fish it out.
Yeah.
Maybe trying to get some salmon.
I think he's got something. I think he's got something on his line. More on the right.
You want to go for a ride, huh?
Yeah, Nantucket sleigh ride.
That's right. That is what you call it.
What fun. Did you? Well, it gave you plenty of chances. Two together. Oh.
Do you see the blowholes?
Doesn't give you an open time to think about it, does it?
Nah, he's not.
It's okay. There you go. There we go.
Oh, he's coming right at us. Come on, baby.
He's happy. He's going to ram the ship.
It's gonna get about 38 of his friends.
Now we're starting to go into Petersburg.
Looks like they are leaving the dock
You
right
can
now.
see, because we're going to be
Further on
looking at
board.
glaciers here. Get an idea of some of the homes. They do have some just gorgeous homes.
Scheduled plan.
Look at that one.
All aboard time tomorrow morning will be 8:45. Give you a little chance to sleep in, catch up.
Petersburg is a Norwegian town. It's a Norwegian settlement. Huge glacier. Coming into Petersburg now. Now what you're seeing is fishing lines that they put up fishing boats because that's how they make a lot of their money.
What's that? I am going inside here.
Because this is such a small ship, it's getting in areas.
At the Sons of Norway Hall, and it's right off the
He's got a
bow.
front lawn on his ship.
Yes.
And a very Norwegian history and heritage here. Now this is going to be quite a parking job, and you may want to watch this. We're actually going to park behind this little white boat ahead of us, or I should say small white yacht, the Safari Escape. We're going to dock behind them. We're built
Right.
here in Petersburg, Alaska.
This skiff is what's going to take the luggage off of this boat. And then the bald eagle is
Baby one, baby. Get him.
Whoa! It's easy to see when you're not trying to film through this down here.
to anticipate where they're going to go. The thing is, you can't look through the camera to catch it. Yeah. The minute you catch it, then you can look.
Let's see.
Here he comes again. Here he comes again.
All these eagles are all just
You got to get the white head, huh?
We're gonna go home because we know the crappy pictures, you know.
all these
Bird
eagles.
tails.
All endangered species right here.
I guess we're supposed to. Gina's going to send us copies of everything she takes.
Yes. Right now, trying to see how close in I can get and still have a good picture.
We got it.
This just did it. As soon as I go so far, but they're just something else. They're just, looks like they're going after each other. There they are. It's flying by. In Petersburg, we're staying at the Tides Inn. As you can tell, it's a little bit different than the hotel we stayed at the other 2 nights. And as you can see, Petersburg is a little different, small fishing town, but it gets us very close to the glacier. Our other hotel room had chocolates. You can tell this is a little bit different because what we have is, we have a Hershey Kiss at this hotel. So it just shows you how the idea of that this is a much more modest place is where we're at. But it's clean. And different.
Wow, look at that zoom. Now what is that thing? I don't wanna...
Those are the eagles. They're getting kind of muddy, personally.
Yeah. What kind of zoom is that? What,
It's a digital zoom.
what power?
She said, I don't know.
Okay.
Now, Anne, this is for you, because I saw this quilt in Petersburg and thought that you might really enjoy seeing it.
How is Street Bayou?
the iceberg. And you can see that line. That is the tide line, or the high tide mark. So at a high tide, oh, Harbor Seal just went under over at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. If the tide were in, those icebergs would be floating. But when the tide goes out, they are stuck on the shallow bar area. And you can tell they're stuck because you can see that horizontal line across in the high tide mark.
There it is right there. You can see the high tide mark on it. So until the high tide comes back, they're not going anyways. Certainly is being close. Okay, we're right here. See all the different lines from the high tide and the low tide coming in. Awesome. Yep.
I've heard the theory, and it makes sense that the little dimples are from the rain.
Ah. Every once in a while I have to clean the lens because it will get water on it.
Just the motion of the glacier, it's not moving smoothly, it's moving at different rates at different times, so it'll break
See how
apart.
blue inside it is? I wouldn't want to live there. That would be very, very cold.
What did you say? Well, I think it's a raindrop.
You can hear the ship. It's got a steel hull. And what it's doing is it's hitting these glaciers.
Talking a little bit about the size of these pieces of ice. We have icebergs, which are the size of a house, and some of the ones we saw earlier at the bar were probably icebergs. The next size down is called a bergy bit, and if you think that that's probably about the size of a big truck. Bergy bit. The next size down is called a growler, and those are the ones that you'll hear growling down the side of the ship, and we will hear those today. Anything smaller than that is called brash ice, and that's these small pieces we see floating all around us. If you want to get smaller than brash ice, you have to go see Meg. She's got cocktail ice. Oh, we've got about 5 harbor seals hauled out at about 2 o'clock on the ice. Little rolly in the middle and always running off at the mouth. And I know some of you enjoyed that video the other day, and we'll try and get it next one. We do have different colors, yeah. Some inside. Now these harbor seals come in a variety of colors from, oh, there's one quite close, 2 of them, all out at 1 o'clock. Spots to darker colors, and sometimes they just appear more dark, is in very deep waters, and sometimes salty waters like we have here.
Here.
Some orb up in the sky. Bright, shiny object. I'm not sure what it is, but
glacier looks like. Oh, that ice. You can hear. This is a steel bottom boat.
And mines that plane. Now I don't know exactly how much they get from
This is
it,
a
but
contemplation.
apparently it's enough to be worth the
Keep
while.
coming out.
And sometimes at the face of the falls we'll see some sea life, or excuse me, bird life. So keep your eyes peeled and we'll see what we see today.
They're not. Those little specks you see, those are seals.
I know, I saw it.
Club Med.
They don't look like it
Club
though.
ice.
Now, can you hear this waterfall?
This boat coming our way is most likely the Sakine Dream 1 and 2. Over in Wrangell, a company called Breakaway Adventures, they're friends of ours. And they will bring people that are staying there in Petersburg, they'll bring the boats over to Petersburg and then head up to the Mekong Glacier. So give them a wave.
There's those little harbor seals. Gotta be used to having it warm, I'll tell you that. Oh, I'm trying to stop it, I can't. See all the seals? We're a little shaky because we're going through ice at the bottom. Yeah, somebody was saying you can almost walk across this ice. It's so thick.
Jump from iceberg to iceberg.
The only trouble is we'd probably be very surprised.
I know. My foot might go down, huh? Just listening to this.
Yeah. Look at the little face.
anchor over the side rail and listen to the ice, because it sounds like wind chimes as it bumps against itself, other little pieces of ice. Every once in a while you'll hear what they call birdie filter or ice crispy. You'll hear little pops as the air is released from the ice. So great experiences to be had. Thunderbird, so we'll hear this thundering sound, so that's why they called it that. LeConte Glacier started going through a catastrophic retreat in about 1994. If you came here in 93, you see the flat spot over on the left, the glacier's face would have been just a couple hundred yards beyond that. And it would have stretched over to the right-hand side, just a little bit to the right of that rock slide. You can see how that's a lighter colored gray. That's because it's all very new rock. Started going through what's called a catastrophic retreat in about 1994. And glaciologists up on the Columbia Glacier in Prince William Sound, they had been studying up there, and they left from their project and came to the LeConte because it was so active. It lost close to a mile of ice, and today is about a half a mile across at the face. It does stretch back about 8 to 12 miles before it reaches the Stikine ice field, which feeds the glacier. And that Stikine ice field is 2,900 square miles of ice. So there is a whole lot of ice in the area. So if you notice a cool breeze, that is why. The face is about, some of those places are about 200 feet tall at the face, although some of the spots are certainly higher. So it's hard to imagine what we're looking at, but that gives you a little perspective. Look at the float plane up there, flying across the face of the glacier. It looks like it's right on it, but again, it's probably still a distance away. It's on the left-hand side. Looks like it's turning towards us right now. So for those of you who are flying over LeConte later, you're getting a preview of what's to come for you. But again, that plane, oh, calving left. From this distance. A lot of activity here at the base of LeConte.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
This is the LeConte Glacier. Lights. It looks like Is it gulls? These guys are brave. They're not coming out. They're up in this patio at all. They're just letting us go by.
Places to watch, because there goes some more. Keep your eyes around that spot. The event not stable. Already know.
Close we are to this glacier. See it? It's dropping off. Make sure you get the glacier.
Or if you do a whistle, let's go.
Straight piece that's just sticking out there. I know, I wish it would. Maybe we will yell. Tidal wave.
Just shove it a little bit.
We have a volunteer.
Shout really loud with the sound waves knock it loose. Like the avalanches, they say.
We'll thank you later.
It's up to you. It's up to you. See that around the corner? Oh boy.
This is the lady who's taking us on the paddy wagon tour for us to see how they do the canning of fish.
Then he's gonna, that's in line then for the guy that's gonna cut the head off. That's the second guy. And the man that's gonna cut the head off is running an air knife. And he has both of his wrists are shackled and they're screwed to the table so that he cannot get within 14 inches of that knife or it would cut his hand off in a heartbeat. You'll hear it go clunk, 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 and you'll see the silver thing on the other end of the line going up and down. I'll point it out to you. And then the fish come down, they get opened up. All along the line there'll be 15 or so people on either side of the line. And you'll see hoses coming down with scrapers attached to them. And they will be cleaning the fish. And then they're going to go through a washer. And then they're going to come on a conveyor belt right in front of us, all clean and shiny. And then they're going to be throwing them, literally, into different totes like that according to weight. When we get our orders from our broker in Seattle, he'll say, I want 25,000 pounds of cohos between 6 and 9 pounds. So every tote has a different weight of fish in it, and that's why we do that. We're going to go in through the door, and we're going to come straight this way. We're going to be right in this corner. And and that'll be the end of the line for the fish, and it's a good place to get pictures. In the middle of the line, there's a table coming out.
Hi, Aunt Patty.
Hello! They're separating the guts from the eggs, and the eggs then are going to be sucked up into a pipe and piped over to the caviar room. It's all the egg room where they make the caviar. So you'll see people doing that. They're pulling out the eggs, putting them down in a suction tube, and over they go. So there's lots going on in there. We have a law here that any time a forklift goes around a blind corner like this, around the corner of a building, they have to go beep beep with their beeper. So you'll hear them all the time. They may, you know, they may not be after you, but they may. So be aware. And if we need to move in a hurry, keep your eyes on me. I'll go like this. Okay? And when we get inside.
Oh, I do this for work.
Oh, you gotta do this for work. Yeah, there's no hair showing.
Yeah, I do this for work.
Want me to wear that too? Everybody has to, yeah. We don't have anybody with mustache.
So you want this instead? You want this instead and all the hair under?
Yeah, we all have to have these on. The Japanese are very particular. They had some customers that they got sign off.
We have to put hats on to go into the caviar room because Japanese pay big bucks for this caviar and they're not going to have any hair in it.
They're going to be in the membrane. So what they're going to do on these fish is what was that? We're going to the eggs are going to come out of a silver container in the corner of the room. The Japanese men are going to look at them, open them up a little bit, and check them for color, size, and how firm they are, and that's going to determine the price. Then they're going to go up on a table. I got to talk with my hands here. And the table's about this square. There'll be 3 people up there, and they're going to rub that membrane with the flat of their hand until the eggs all come out on the bottom and there's nothing on top of the screen except the membrane. And you'll see them pick it up. It looks ugly, and they put it in a bucket. That's garbage. The eggs are going to slide out, and they're going to be caught when they get enough of them in this container. They're going to put them in what looks like a big washing machine. It's got a paddle in it, and it's full of salt brine. And the brine will cure the eggs. There's a paddle in there that drives the brine into the egg. They're in there about 3 to 4 minutes. And while they're in there, they're going to be stirring them with racquetball rackets. And that picks up any of the stringy membrane that might be left over. And then you're going to see them, I'll tell you when they're going to lift them out, they've got some containers that they cut the ends off, and they're going to scoop down in there, and then they're going to put them on a platform that has a beautiful bright blue cloth on it, and then these bright orange eggs. So it makes a wonderful picture. So I'll tell you when that's going to happen. Okay? And we're going to go in and we're going to...
There's those caviar eggs.
about 2 minutes and putting them on one of those tables with the blue, where the blue cloth is. These guys in the back are doing what we call they're rubbing eggs now. See them in the back there? Caviar. See, anybody that's really close to the eggs has to wear this thing over their nose or their mouth.
Could the other explanation be because it helps to cut the smell?
No, there's no odor to the thing. Going up here. We just dumped a whole bunch on the table now for them to rub.
Go ahead.
We've got 2 people that work in this room that do nothing but clean. We never use a container twice. Anytime a container is used, it has to go in the soapy water and bacteria disinfectant stuff and then rinsed. And so it's the same way in the plant, in the fish house. We never use a container twice. You have to go outside and get it clean.
Yeah, here they go. Okay, there's all that caviar. You may not appreciate caviar now, but wait till you're older.
Are you on the microphone here? When it's finished, the product is going to be ikura, which means the single eggs. On the smaller fish, we process them in the membrane. So they don't go through the rubbing process. They just go in the big tanks and get cured with the salt brine. And then we pack them in the membrane, and that is called sujiko. You know them, they like them half raw.
Yeah, but okay, so that's why they're fanatics on their cleanliness, is because they're not adding anything.
Yeah, but see, they're going to be frozen now.
Yeah, but they're...
This is our license. Keep frozen. Salted salmon roe.
Don't they can the eggs too?
No.
Typically it's Japanese.
See, they put, in Norwegian we call this just for stas, just for show.
Yeah. It's probably got that seal.
No, it's just laying on top.
Ah.
There's the finished product. Hey, yeah, Timex.
Walmart, yeah.
Yeah. Every 3 years I buy business. And it just happened that way. I mean, the price went up to us from Japan, and the profit margin was so good that it paid the whole labor for the season, for not just for the egg people, but for the fish house, for everybody. Well, just the fish house, not the shrimp. The fish house and the egg, and the dock crew that unloads the fish and everything. So I talked to him yesterday, and it has gone down. He thought it was going to be $20 this year per pound. So it's gone down. And whether that's got something to do with the value of the dollar, I've got no idea. I don't keep track of that. But the price had gone down. All under the whole bear. Has his own claws, his own baby ears, his own teeth, baby tail. And this bear was shot by a local doctor from Wisconsin who was a friend of my dad's, and we had someone from Wisconsin here. No?
On the trip we did, but they're not here.
Yeah, but
Oh,
they're not
okay.
here.
Anyhow, he was a friend of my dad's, and my dad talked him into coming to Petersburg, and he was our doctor here for many, many years. His name is Dr. Russell Smith. He was from Barron, Wisconsin. And he delivered my 3 kids and many other kids. And he was a big game hunter before he came to Petersburg. He'd been up north doing a lot of hunting. And that was when white men could shoot the polar bear, which they can no longer do. And so he left this to me in his will. And by the time I received the bear, the doctor was no longer living, so I don't have a lot of info on age, sex, or anything about it. Sure.
Is it soft?
As long as you go with, go with the grain. Now this hair on his sides, if the bear was walking, this on all fours, this hair would be hanging down. This hair is hollow, and it's for insulation and flotation. And anybody that ties flies would kill for some of this hollow hair because it makes the fly float so high. And also it has a quality to it where when the sun hits it, it goes light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, drives the fish crazy. So I have a friend in, actually my son has a friend in Juneau who commercially ties flies. And I did take a few pieces off of this guy, and I hope you can't see where I did it. I tried to do it very carefully. And I sent them to him with one stipulation. I want 3 polar bear flies in little boxes, one for my son and one each for my 2 son-in-laws. And so he was very happy to accommodate me because he got to have many flies tied besides those 3 that he sent.
How long are the hairs?
Pardon?
How long are the hairs that you're talking about? 6 inches?
Yeah,
8
depending on
inches?
where you get. Depending on where you get it. Some of it's longer.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the part that is hollow. I'd say between 6 and 8 inches. Yeah. Yeah, so this is a nice bear. He also left me a grizzly bear, which you could not get on this ceiling. And I'm really not into bears. I didn't really know what to do with them. And so I took the pretty one, the white one, gave the big grizzly bear back to the family. There were some boys there that probably ended up with it. And so this used to be a white wall, like over there. So my son put some T111 up here, and we painted chocolate brown and put the